Hey Ranger Nation, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about Dino Fury episode 1. This has just finished airing, so I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on it and kind of talk a bit more about it. But if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Let's jump into it. And I want to say a big thank you to Estee for linking me this. This is absolutely awesome, so thank you very much. So let's kind of talk about what happened in the episode. So it breaks down into a few things. You have the main focus on the entire episode is Amelia and Ollie. They're the ones that we're following straight away. And the fact is that Amelia wants to cover a story about paranormal stuff. And, you know, literally this entire whole episode, I will say this now in case I forget it, it feels completely different. It doesn't feel like Beast Morphers or anything we've had in the past. So I think that they're changing it up. And even though this could be the first episode, the rest of it could be completely weird, I have to admit, I really enjoyed it, even though it was laggy for me at times. So the entire whole premise is it follows Amelia and Ollie all the way through. They're going to a place called Dinohenge, which is pretty much where these stone dinosaurs are. We meet Amelia is taking it's got this like gun thing which looks really cool, which I've got to give him props. When I was looking at the GoPro, it actually felt like it wasn't screen recorded, like, you know, we've recorded this and then superimposed it. It was literally, here it is, like for like, you know, this is what you would see normally, and I kind of like that. So Amelia kind of gangs up on Ollie after apparently she thinks that he's a ghost and he's darting about really quickly, and I'm just like, what? Okay, cool, that's absolutely fine. We then jump to the point where, now I didn't see them fall down, but Void Knight drops down and he is pretty much searching for the Sporax, which is the bad guys or the monsters of this. So we then cut to a clip where we've obviously seen before, where Ollie and Amelia are kind of looking about where they're going, and you know, we've kind of talked about that previously in the last video. So we get this massive whole fight that breaks out. And I love the fact that the Amelia and Ollie know who the Power Rangers are. So they know exactly about Zords, they know about powers. And when Amelia goes like, hey, like, how do we get this new power? What do we get? And Ollie goes Zords. I was like, I really kind of like that. Because in the past, like, I know like the other Rangers know about each other. But for me on this one, it felt like they knew exactly like what Power Rangers were. Like, it wasn't a hidden fact or something like that. It's just a really kind of nice way of doing it. So with kind of moving on, the fight scenes in this were absolutely kind of perfect. It was really nice. It felt different. Again, like this entire whole first episode was very much different from previous ones. We find out other characters about this. We find out about the Sporax, which basically Zato comes in. Now, this is one thing I will say about Zato, is the first fight wasn't with the Red Ranger straight away. It was kind of leading up to it. We find that Zato has been on Earth for 65 million years. So I really want to see how this is all connecting to the other seasons, especially with Dino Charge or especially with Mighty Morphing. I really kind of want to know about this, because like this could be the whole mystery for the entire season, and I would absolutely love it. So as the Rangers are kind of fighting, we see the new weapon, which is the Dino Dagger. And when I was watching this, I generally thought, why would you use the Dino Dagger? Why would you go from sword to Dino, like Dino Dagger? It just didn't make sense. And obviously when Zato throws it at Void Knight, it opens up the Sporax and they all escape, and you kind of think that wasn't meant to be the way. Now, Void Knight, there's a reference in this where Zato goes, you stole that armor. So that is going to be something completely different. I hope that whoever they have for the bad guy for this, like his backstory is he goes off and he finds it and it corrupts him and he turns into this monster. I think that would be absolutely perfect for it. We get a backstory on Zato and where he's from, and how the Sporax destroyed his entire city. I didn't get to see the last part of it where he's explaining it because my connection just reset, and I was just like, all right, cool, it's now straight to SpongeBob. but I loved this entire whole aesthetic to this. Now, one of the key features in this is that we see the morphing grid actually come alive and actually give the powers to Amelia and Ollie and go straight away, here we go, you can use the powers. And it's interesting how they fight. I also love how they give the quick throwaway lines of the fact that Amelia has had 3 years of karate, and the fact is that Ollie has pretty much the same, but he's also had years of fencing. So I think these throwaway lines were absolutely perfect for this. Now, Zoa, I think, is what they call the dinosaur, and she's a cyborg, a Solanosaurus, that's it. So we've got the dinosaur. It's too quick to hear her name, so I'm going to find it later and talk about it. But we find out that she is a cyborg dinosaur. She was hurt in the fight with Sporax, and also therefore it kind of carries on. For the kind of roundup for this entire video is, I really liked this episode. I really did. I'm excited because for the series, it feels like it's going to be different. It feels like it's been shot different. It feels like it's absolutely kind of a little bit unique, something different from what we get. You have characters that you kind of like. It wasn't focused on Zato for the first episode. So for this one, I generally thought was absolutely kind of spot on. So I am wholeheartedly for this entire episode. For this season, I really want to watch it. So for me, I'm going to be doing this every single week, hopefully as soon as it finishes airing. I really kind of want to see this all entirety without lagging, so I can get the full story of how they fell into the hole, what the full backstory for Zato is. But from what we've seen from the mystery at the very beginning, the kind of BuzzFeed type building with all the stories. You also had, I forgot to mention, you have the one where they call like this park ranger buzzkill, and it's like, oh, are you going to be the comedy element? Are you going to be something different? But for me on this one, I just generally really liked it. It's going to be interesting because I generally thought that at least other Ranger series, like say Dino Charge at the very beginning, or at least Mighty Morphing, were able to kind of pick up on this, or even other kind of seasons. I know it's going to be hard, but it feels like this story, like if you just come to Earth, I would understand, but the fact it's 65 million years old, gonna be some topics that we're gonna talk about. I'm just caught up. So we have the way I thought Amelia and Ollie fell into the hole. No, they go down and they walk into it, so they can look around. Amelia asks if Ollie's scared, but he's kind of like, no, but you kind of think he's a bit cautious on it. Obviously we know what his character is. So the main thing that we need to talk about is Morphing Masters. So I really like the fact that Zato and his crew basically leave his planet. They go to Earth because that's where the Sporax are heading, and they go straight down to the planet, and they start fighting. And they don't have any powers, but they're there to take down the Sporax, and I really kind of like that. Most of the story is that the Sporax get too powerful, that they grow giant, and they don't know what to do. The Morphing Masters arrive on Earth, opening a portal and give them powers. And then also, now that we see that there is the Gold Ranger there, we see that the Green Ranger has a skirt, which I'm guessing is something different. And obviously now that they're not going to have it, I'm kind of really interested to see how they are going to do that, like kind of explain it, or is it going to be something a bit like all the way through. So I think that's going to be kind of a very interesting way of doing it. We see that the morphing grid is kind of extremely powerful, as that what Zato does say. We see that there's the Gold Ranger is in this as well, so it's nice to see the Gold Ranger turn up in the first episode, but we don't know what's happened to him, and obviously we don't know where that's going. I really like the fact that the Morphing Masters give them the names, like you are the Power Rangers Dino Fury, and thus therefore, you know, the Morphing Grid is absolutely huge. I'm trying to find, like, they access the sky, and it looks like the Morphing Grid is everywhere. So I really kind of want to delve more into the Morphing Masters, because we've not seen or heard about them since episode 1 of Mighty Morphing. So having this linked back, I really do absolutely enjoy this. I think it's absolutely cool. And then obviously Zato explains that the Sporax are now everywhere. They'll go underground, they will hide until they're strong enough, and then we see it going everywhere, and he's going to train in the Rangers. And that is pretty much about it. Thought I'd catch up on that one. Anyway, this episode was great. I would highly recommend watching it. I would watch it in its entirety, not just little parts and stuff like that. So once I do it, I'll do a full in-depth review of it and go everything and go over the entire episode. But for now, this is my thoughts. I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know down in the comments. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.